Hi viewers and welcome to Breaking Down Nigerian Pidgin English. My name is Bafu. In our last lesson, we looked at modal verbs and we looked at the modal verbs can, which means fit in Nigerian Pidgin English. Today, we're going to look at the modal verbs ought to and should, which means suppose in Nigerian Pidgin English. Suppose acts as an auxiliary which gives information about occurrence of suggested obligation or logical necessity. It always precedes the main verb. It has both an objective meaning, as represented by English ought to, and subjective meaning, as indicated by English should. Suppose in Nigerian Pidgin English also refers to someone who is not fulfilling an obligation, but hopes to do so in the future. It is a kind of epistemic modality, since the speaker expresses an opinion about a statement. For example, I suppose visit Akiotu next month for London. These examples shows that the speaker's attitude is about the possibility of visiting his friend Akiotu next month in London, but which is not being certain at all. It can also express relatively high probability. The time reference for suppose can be shifted from the present to the future or the past using the past tense operator been and the future operator go. For example, you suppose go see doctor next week. You ought to go see the doctor next week. Future tense. Austin suppose been buy that house last year. Or Austin suppose been buy that house last year. Austin was supposed to buy that house last year. Past tense. In the simple past sentence, like the last example, the past tense operator been can come before or after suppose in the sentence. It could be something like being suppose or suppose been. You can use either of the two, it doesn't really matter. Well, let's see sentences in affirmative, negative, and question forms to help you form your own sentences. Let's start with the affirmative. We'll first look at the structure of the affirmative sentence. The structure is subject plus suppose plus verb plus complement. Examples. You suppose dey my office now. We suppose relax for house this weekend. Dem been suppose participate for the matter. Now let's look at the negative examples. First, let's start with the structure. The structure goes like this. The subject plus no suppose plus verb plus complement. Examples. Politicians no suppose deceive their voters. Deji be no suppose divorce him wife. Leaders no suppose encourage violence. Now let's check out the interrogative. We start with the structure. The structure is subject plus suppose plus verb plus complement, then the question mark. If you're starting with a WH question, you start with the WH question plus subject plus suppose plus verb plus complement, then the question mark. Let's look at some examples. You suppose they here. Why suppose lie? When una suppose go the party? Who suppose pick you up for airport? How you suppose reach work without car? Which car Mary suppose drive today? Wetin dem suppose wan tell me? Guys, this is where we draw the curtain on today's program. Modal verbs with suppose, ought to, and should. Should you have any question, please feel free to drop it in the comment sections and I'll be glad or more than glad to respond to you. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep it locked on BDMP, Breaking Down Nigerian Pidgin English. I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you very much.